join me for Ask the Good Doctor, live today and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring your questions.
Hello, it's Wellness Wednesday, and I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire. Welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. We are here to help you attain, maintain, and reclaim your perfect health. So grab your Good Doctor notebook, call everybody that you know, tell them that we're on the air, and also you can watch this broadcast at any time thanks to YouTube. Join me on Twitter at Ask the Good Doc, on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor, and jump into this conversation. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss a minute of it. One announcement. Speaking of jumping into conversations, we have something additional for those of you who may be more serious than others about getting your health in order once and for all. In addition to my 1-hour Healthy New You phone consultation that's always available, click below. Send an email to DrBrookshire@outlook.com if you want a 1-hour phone consultation. In addition to that, we've got something for you that we're calling the deep dives. Yes, I want to invite you to become a wellness warrior with us. Yep. What is a wellness warrior? A wellness warrior is intentional about being on this wellness journey. A wellness warrior is uncompromising, and a wellness warrior wants to learn more about embarking upon a wellness journey. And have we got the opportunity for you? So we now have a Patreon channel. Yay! So it's patreon.com/askthegooddoctor. That's patreon.com/askthegooddoctor, and it is down below in the description box. So let's get to it today. I am very pleased to be able to share with you something of a phenomenon. I'm looking for my little notebook here. It's not a phenomenon, but we have been dubbed in these times in which we live as uncertain. We know that. We know that there are many outside influences that are absolutely 100% uncontrollable. However, there is one thing that can be controlled, and that is our health. We can control our temple. Hold on. It's that time of year where we are deworming in this house. More on that later. But, however, the things that you can control, the things that are in your hands, are the matters of your health. So I know from the questions that I receive in the chat and from the emails that I receive that many of you are struggling and trying to sort out this thing that we call life, first of all, and trying to sort out this thing that we call health. But I know it seems like a never-ending cycle of what to eat and when. And many times, a lot of people have adopted the mantra, I'm going to eat whatever I want to because I'm going to die from something anyway. Can't stand that. Let me just tell you, I can't stand that. Of course, we're going to die from something. We are. But I want you to consider as you say that, what burden are you placing on the people who love you? What burden are you placing on the people who will inevitably care for you? What burden are you placing on the family who will no longer be able to do without you being here when you died from something that you could have prevented? I just want you to let that marinate for a minute. And then there's the adage of some people, I can eat whatever I want to and not get sick. Okay. All right. Until you see that number on the scale go so high that you have no idea how to get it down, until you get a negative report from a doctor, or until you get a diagnosis of something that is seemingly unreversible and you leave the doctor's office with a handful of prescriptions, then we want to get serious. Yeah. I'm always talking about maintaining a posture of prevention. That's where I want us to stay, in a posture of prevention. I don't want you to wait to do something when you get a cholesterol scare or something else nasty has grabbed hold of you. Let me just say this, be quite frank. COVID has exposed a very sick America. Yeah. That's what COVID did. 600,000 plus people dead from COVID. We're not talking about vaccinated or unvaccinated. We're just talking about 600,000 Americans are dead from COVID. And what it exposed is the fragility of the health of Americans. Now, America is supposed to be the greatest superpower, but America claims that it runs on Duncan. It does. And because it has run on Duncan, America is sick. And COVID came in here and just tore up stuff like a rag doll, just tossed us all around like a rag doll. Are we the greatest superpower now? We should be able to withstand when something comes our way. We are going to spend time today to talk about what to eat. Not just today, but we're going to embark upon a series on what to eat. But today specifically, we're going to focus on when to eat. And this little magazine right here, this National Geographic, this latest episode, I always call it an episode, this latest issue of National Geographic, What to Eat When, a strategic plan for health and wellness. How about that? Cover story. From cover to cover, this book is discussing what to eat and when. Now, how many of you still like National Geographics? I love it. I love the colors. I love receiving my monthly National Geographics, quarterly now. I love receiving them because they're always so chock full of information. But when they had this as the cover, the issue, the entire issue is about eating and strategic planning for health and wellness. How about that? How timely is it that National Geographic is having this conversation? Science has caught up with nature in making the determination that timing is everything. And National Geographic says this: when you eat, it is as essential as eating wait, let me back that up. One moment, please. I don't want to mess this up. When you eat, it is as essential as what you eat for maintaining a good weight, preventing diseases, and living a long, energetic, and happy and healthy life. I concur with that. They call it the win way. Now, don't get scared. Okay, because I'm going to dish out some ABCs, 1, 2, 3s on this. The win way. I like that. But you know what? It is no different than what I've been talking about here for a long time. And that is about being in balance with your circadian clock, your circadian rhythm, working alongside of nature instead of defying it. And I know there are a lot of people who like to say they're a night owl. No, you're not. There are no night owls. You are not designed to stay up all night. None of us are. And while some people do it, and a job knows that you shouldn't stay up all night. That's why they offer you more money, honey. They offer you more money to stay up all night. And guess what? People who consistently work the graveyard shift, they invariably end up in an early grave. Now, why is that? Because with our circadian clock, let me define it succinctly for you first. The circadian clock, chronobiology, is the name of the study of this science, chronobiology, and it studies our circadian rhythms, the rhythms that are already set up in conjunction with nature. Circadian rhythms are physical, mental, and behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour cycle. This natural process responds primarily to light and dark and affect almost every living thing, including humans, animals, plants, and microbes. Yep, that's the truth. Now, what happens if we defy nature instead of working alongside of it? What happens when we start defying our circadian clock too many nights in a row? Well, there is a lack of exposure and sunlight that happens, especially during the winter months, and irregular sleep patterns, a misuse of alcohol, can also cause our circadian clock to go off out of whack, and eating at irregular times of day. That can throw it off as well. Mental illness is also another one. So, this is how you know your circadian clock is out of whack. One thing is that your day and your night are mixed up, are confused. And there was a commercial. I can't think of the name of it. It's something 24 is the name of this medication. And it was focusing on a blind man. The blind man and his dog were walking, and they were talking about how blind people only, this is what the commercial is intimating, that blind people have day and night confused. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is not just a day and night situation. This could happen to anyone. Have your days and nights mixed up. Students can end up with this happening to them, studying all night. And when you invert, your health is at risk. So this commercial specifically is advertising the fact that it interferes, being blind, interferes with your circadian rhythm, but so does working all night. So is the declaration of the fact that you are a night owl. So here are some things that let you know that your circadian rhythm is out of whack. According to WebMD, they say some of the things are difficulty initiating sleep, that when you really do want to go to sleep, you won't be able to. Difficulty maintaining sleep. Now, I know as a clinician how many people I care for who have trouble staying asleep. And non-restorative sleep. That means that when you go to sleep, you're it's not of benefit to you because you're sleeping at the wrong hours. Poor concentration can also show that your circadian patterns are off, and impaired performance with the decrease of your cognitive skills. Listen, this is why more people who are sleep deprived get into car accidents. Yeah, that's why they get into car accidents, because cognitively they are impaired, and you cannot manage that machine behind the wheel of a car when you're tired. Think about that before you get behind the wheel, sleepy, placing yourself and others in jeopardy. Headaches and gastroenterological problems as well. You know, gastric issues are so high on the list when the circadian rhythm is out of whack, which means that we need to pay closer attention to the fact that our body is primed to eat at certain times. Yeah. Research now just proves, well, we've known it for a long time in our holistic world, but the scientific world, as I say, is catching up to what we've known about nature. And it is proving that there is a huge effect in humans on what time we eat. One study shows how much it affects weight loss compared to eating at certain times over a 20-week period. And a related study found that those who ate later burned less than those who ate earlier. And those who eat earlier lose much more weight than those who eat later. Wow, interesting. And why is that? And that is because our gut is designed to work with the sun. While the sun is up, y'all, while the sun is up, that's why I always recommend that you eat during the day. And here's another thing. In the Essene Dead Scrolls, the disciples asked Jesus, "Master, when should we eat?" He said, "At high noon and sunset." Interesting. But you have to go digging for that to find that out. It's not in any of our other holy scriptures, no matter what your faith may be, but it is in the Essene Dead Scrolls, which are also an additional accounting of the deeds and words of Jesus. So I find that quite interesting that this lesson that we're having today about when to eat was a question placed by the disciples asking that of Jesus. Wow, so interesting. So when we talk about high noon is when the sun is highest up in the sky. Between 11 and 1 essentially is high noon, and between 5 and 7 is sunset. So on the circadian clock, the digestion phase is from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. And this is when fruits should primarily be consumed. So the bacterial species in our microbiome, in our gut, they change rapidly based on whether or not we adhere to the circadian clock or whether we defy it. So I know for a fact that just changing when you eat, it can be of a great benefit to your health. It can be a benefit to your digestion. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to eat early. A lot of people like to skip breakfast, but research has shown that our body's natural rhythm is to want food later, even though it has a negative effect on our overall health. Why is that? That is because as nighttime comes and we power down for the day, as we snuggle in or snuggle up and get comfortable with a good book or a cup of tea, the one you love, and television, a movie, and Netflix binging. Yeah, we tend to want to eat more during those times, but that is the worst time ever to have our food. I studied once for the day, had the pleasure of being in the company of Dr. Russell Harrison. He's called the Heavy Doc out in LA. And I spent the whole day with him from about 8 in the morning until about 6 that evening. And we just had a great time fellowshipping and eating. He fed me so much food. He said he eats all he wants every day until 4 o'clock, and then he eats no more. Oh, what a concept. What a concept. I thought, wow. And every time we finished eating, he started preparing the next thing. And then he'd take out something out the freezer and get ready to prepare that. And when I left there, I was stuffed. I literally could not eat anything else for the rest of the day. And I was not hungry. Working alongside of nature when the sun is up. He said he doesn't eat anymore after 4 o'clock, especially in the winter, when it gets darker earlier, and I was there in January. But I thought, wow, Russell, Dr. Russell, thank you for the lesson. And I experienced that myself. One of the other things I'm experiencing is understanding about the hormonal reset, because as we get older, our hormones change, period. So I am doing that with food. I am setting my clock, literally setting my timer to every 2 to 3 hours to have a snack. And then that snack may be it will contain protein. And it will, in that, having that protein, it just does something to stabilize the microbiome. And it also helps to stabilize my hormones. So what I've noticed is that everything is starting to take a shift just doing that. But I am not traditionally a snacker. So it's been hard for me. That has been my challenge. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to continue to do it because I see the good results. Now, what we know is that food is medicine. Hippocrates said it. Let food be thy medicine, because it is. And we know one thing. Thank you, Bowlegs. Great advice. Thank you. One thing that we definitely know is that the power of food and what we have on our fork, that matters so much. Here's the thing. The fork is the modern day rod. What do I mean by that? In biblical times, I'm giving y'all a little sermon today. Didn't mean to, but it's kind of coming up. In biblical times, when Moses went before the burning bush and God was instructing Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let his people go, Moses said, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I stutter. Pharaoh has an army. I have nothing. God said, what's in your hand? And Moses said, a rod. And that rod brought life, death, and destruction, and ultimately freedom to God's people. And the modern day rod is the fork, because what you place upon that fork will bring you life, death, destruction, or freedom. And the choice is completely yours. But since Hippocrates spoke to us many years ago, let food be thy medicine, physicians have used the power of food to treat disease. It's what I do. It is the basis of what I do. When we sit down and have a talk, when I sit down and have a talk with you, when we confer on the phone or Zoom or however we do it, if we do it, I want to know all about how you eat. Period. Not just that, but that's a great deal of what we're doing. And when we make a readjustment to usher you into perfect health, then we absolutely have gotten down to the bottom of what it is you eat and made a readjustment just for you. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about these circadian rhythms and what is negatively affected if you defy it. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
You're tuned in to Ask the Good Doctor, live each and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central, and 10 a.m. Pacific. Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire is here to answer your questions live.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr.
A better wife when I go back home.
And that is the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway Recap. I just love seeing those images. What a good time we had. But you need to know, yes, you are what we eat. You are what you eat. Make no mistake about it. But believe it or not, that we need to understand the science of when to eat is equally as important as what to eat. All energy sources generate from the sun, and we need to work along with the sun. Bottom line, eat during daytime hours. Eat every couple of hours. While it's been beneficial for me, I can imagine that it will be beneficial for all of you as well. Now, some people love intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is the latest phenomenon, the latest craze. I spoke to a friend last night who says that she still eats at 2:30. Her first meal is at 2:30 in the afternoon every single day. And then she's eating very much in an 8-hour window. So she can eat up to 10 o'clock at night, which is way late for me because I'm in bed at 10 o'clock. So while it's beneficial for her in one way, in another way, it's detrimental. And we had this conversation last night, and she said, I could see that I need to change my cycle a little bit. For me, intermittent fasting didn't work as much. My intermittent is the part where I'm sleeping, the part that I'm not eating. But when I wake in the morning, the first thing I do is I eat protein with fruit. So to answer Lucy's question, is it true that eating fruits for breakfast could increase glucose levels? Absolutely, Lucy, especially if you are eating fruit that spike your glycemic levels. You need to have fruit because fruit contains fructose. Period. So that's a sugar, a simple sugar, but some fruits are too much for some people. What do I mean like that? Bananas, for sure, definitely. Mango, for sure. Papaya. Those fruits spike the glycemic level, and you want to take a low glycemic fruit to ensure that you don't have this increase in the glucose level. So I'll take my fruit with a protein shake, and that stabilizes. I could take my walk, let's go. And then I'll eat a couple of hours later. What kinds of food would be recommended to eat before 4 o'clock to ensure good circadian rhythm cycle? Good question, Mr. or Ms. Torres. Don't know who that is there. Torres, I would suggest that you eat your vegetables, 5 servings of vegetables, depending on whether or not you're diabetic, 5 servings of fruit, low glycemic fruit. Of course, you can have papaya, but do you want to have papaya 5 times a day? No. Do you want to have 5 bananas? No. So low glycemic fruit, those are good things. You want to have vegetables, you want to have protein, stay away from the grains, stay away from the carbs, stay away from the processed foods. They are not our friends. The processed foods are what has gotten America in trouble. The beverages that are not benefiting us in any way with our health. Perfect health is absolutely attainable. I'm going to share with you a little secret. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to have a milestone birthday. Okay? Perfect health is, and I'll tell you all what that is when I get there, but perfect health is being my age. I'm on no medications. I do not wear glasses. I don't need them. I don't even wear cheaters. No, I don't have on contacts. This is all me. I don't wear foundation on my skin, just powder for shine sometimes. I don't even have any on today. I might be shiny. Sorry. But that is what perfect health looks like. Perfect health. I could stand up and sit down without pain. I could walk my dog and myself. And that's what perfect health looks like. Being of a certain age and not needing to rely on artificial means to stay well, period. So my barometer is that I still have my good eyesight. My hair still grows. My nails still grow. My skin is decent. I attribute that and call that perfect health. So when people are saying, oh, there's no such thing as perfect health, that's a lie. I need you to believe that. I want you to practice this week eating with the daytime hours while we still have more daylight. Pretty soon, we're going to have less and less of a window. And it may be harder for some of us, but we're going to do what we can to stick to this, the win way, this new phenomenon called the win way, as outlined by National Geographic. It will be beneficial to our health to do so. This is in keeping with the circadian clock. So you want to be in bed by 10 p.m. to stay in line with the healing of the circadian rhythm that happens at night. And we're going to do a really deep dive on this on my Patreon channel if you become a wellness warrior, because I know I'm a wellness warrior, want to know this. We're just going to scratch the surface here just a little bit. So if you are in bed by 10, then you get the opportunity to reap the benefit of the nighttime healing. See, the sun gives us energy. That is why it is better to eat with the sun. The moon restores the body. Yes? So when you're in bed at 10 p.m., you'll be in a REM state sleep by midnight. It takes 2 hours to establish a REM state sleep. Once you establish that sleep, now the healing cycle begins. So the first cycle up for healing at midnight is the endocrine system. The endocrine system governs the high blood pressure, diabetes. So when you're up late, several nights in a row, manifestation of being up too late too many times in a row, then here comes diabetes. Here comes high blood pressure, because you cannot defy nature so many times in a row and get away with it. Your body will betray you. Your body will let you know. The body always leaves clues. The body leaves clues. So that when people come to me with chronic high blood pressure and they're telling me they have a healthy lifestyle, or if they tell me they're on high blood pressure medications, my question is, well, what time are you going to bed? Sure enough, 10 o'clock or later, consistently, midnight or later, consistently. You cannot defy nature too many times in a row. It will defeat you. It wins. What is that commercial? It is not nice to fool Mother Nature. Boom. Yeah. Mother Nature, she's not playing with us. And until we figure that out, America will stay sick. Okay? So I'm going to get to some of your questions. Let's see, who else is asking a question here? I answered that question by Torres already. So I want you all to know this. Going to bed at 10 o'clock is the best thing that you could possibly do for your heart health. Why is that? Because we only are assigned so many heartbeats in this lifetime. That's correct. We are only assigned so many heartbeats in our lifetime. So when you're up late, just piddling, cleaning, scrolling, emailing, whatever, past 10 o'clock, ask yourself, is this the best use of my heartbeats that I will get in this lifetime? Ask yourself that important question. And I promise you, you'll put down whatever it is you're doing. I don't want to waste my heartbeats doing nothing. Now, did I binge watch Netflix over the holiday weekend? I sure did. One night till 1 o'clock, one night till 2 o'clock. That never, I hardly ever. I did have a little quick nap during the day so I could survive the evening, but I planned to do that. Am I up till 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning on any given day? No, I don't remember. Probably the last holiday was the last time I was up till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And even then, I try my best to go to bed at 10 o'clock at all times. Doris says, if on blood pressure medication, can you ever get off? 100%, Doris. Call me, email me down below. Yeah, let's get you off that blood pressure medication. It is absolutely, positively, 100% curable. There is no such thing as an incurable disease. All right? That does it for me today, though. And we will continue this conversation over the course of several weeks because there's so much to teach you. So keep that Good Doctor book open, study these notes, pass on this episode to others, and join me if you plan on becoming even more serious or if you'd like to take a deeper dive as a wellness warrior on my Patreon channel at Ask the Good Doctor. Patreon.com/AskTheGoodDoctor. I want to thank my team, Irving Wright, supervising producer, Christopher Green, technical producer, DJ Indy, and Chris Brown, announcers. And I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Remember to let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.